other aspects of the software. But again, the statement's on our website, and I'm actually linking to it for the newsletter that's going out in an hour's time. We're going to link to that. So the big deadline is this May the 21st, so it doesn't give us very long. May the 21st, you need to stop using the cloud storage, and if you want to download Garmin Adventures, do that before then, because these things are going to disappear, and we'll more than likely review it in future podcasts and see what the changes are like. Next thing on the podcast is Andy's top tips. So Andy's top tips for both Garmin and SatMap.
So the Garmin tip, it's something we've already mentioned. I'm just going to go into it in a little bit more detail. If you've bought a unit from us now that has this new mapping called Topo Pro, whether it be the 1 to 25 or 1 to 50 version, we recommend that you set up a new what we call the new activity profile if you're using the Oregon 700s or eTrex Touches for the national parks to get the best out of this new mapping. Now, if you're buying a unit from us, we'll actually set that profile up now for if you want, but you may have bought a unit from us and then bought the mapping at a later date, so you need to set up that profile. So basically in your units, if you've got a Garmin new generation Oregon 700 eTrex Touch, you're just going into your setup, and you've got an option in setup called activities. It just says create new activity, and you get the option to give it a name, something like Hike National Park, pick a symbol, and then the main thing is you go in and tell it that you're hiking and the routing. We've done a video showing you how to do this, and it just means if you're using this new Topo Pro mapping and you're in a national park, rather than having to change settings you've already got for when you're not in a national park, you've got a new profile set up. So that's what I'd recommend you do with a Garmin.
And as Andy says, there's a video and our online resource. So if you go to our website, gpstraining.co.uk, click on the online resource, and you can log into the online resource, and we've put a video in the top tips. I think Garmin top tips.
So in the Garmin top tips, we've only got it for the Oregon 700 at the minute, but that actually covers the eTrex Touch, and we will, for those of you using an older style, like a Montana or a 64S unit with OS mapping, we are going to show you how you go into basically set up and profiles on that unit. Yeah. We'll be doing some videos in the coming weeks showing you how you set up a profile on those units.
That's brilliant. So that's your Garmin top tip for this month, and SatMap now, Andy.
Yep, so SatMap, again, it's coming on from what we said earlier about checking for updates and these new beta updates. I've had a number of customers call me about when they connect their SatMap Active 20 unit to the Wi-Fi. So what happens is you go onto the Wi-Fi page, you say, connect it, manage your Wi-Fi network, you put in your Wi-Fi password, and then what you'll see at the top of the Active 20 screen, it's just to the right of the screen title page, you get like the little symbol. It's like a series of blue curved conical shapes. It's like that Wi-Fi radar symbol to show that you're connected to Wi-Fi. Yeah. They're a blue colour. Now, what a lot of customers are trying to do is then do the software update, manage updates, and it's not happening. It's not showing that there's any updates available. What you've actually got to do when you connect your Active 20 to Wi-Fi, it then has to connect and sync with SatMap server. The way you know that it's connected to SatMap server, where you have these blue curved conical sort of the Wi-Fi radar symbol in the top right of the screen, you'll notice you normally have to leave it on a few minutes. You'll get a little coloured dot, solid dot appear below those curved conical shapes. That means you're now connected to the SatMap server, and then if you go on to the manage updates and check for updates, it'll let you. It does, when you go onto the Wi-Fi, it doesn't automatically. Sometimes it must depend on what their server's doing. Yeah. You have to just give it a few minutes to connect and look for that little solid dot.
That's brilliant. I never knew that. That's a really good top tip for SatMap users. And we have an extra top tip this month. Comment on our podcast feed from a guy called Ken. Now, I think Ken must be using the 125,000 Topo Pro mapping, because he says, maybe a tip for your next podcast. I was using Basecamp earlier for downloading some walks around Moffat area of Dumfries and Galloway. I couldn't work out why I could not see the OS map on Basecamp with my Garmin connected. It turns out that they're calling this area the north of England rather than southern Scotland. So if people don't know, with the Topo Great Britain Pro, it's not just one map set, is it? It's a 4 or 5.
So this is if you're using the 1 to 25. It's actually the Topo Pro 1 to 25. Or the Garmin Discoverer Premium 1 to 25 mapping.
Yes,
when you go to your maps menu in Basecamp, there's 5 areas like North England and Isle of Man, West England, East England, And obviously there's a couple of, I think there's 2 options for Scotland,
Yeah.
but for some reason then Dumfries and Galloway, you have to pick the North England one. So apologies for our Scotland customers. We've decided to put Dumfries in Northern England for some reason, or Garmin have.
That's brilliant. That's on the 125,000 map cards that you get from Garmin. So thank you, Ken, for that. It's very much appreciated. If anybody has other top tips that come across, just drop us an email and we can incorporate them into future podcasts.